Welcome to Built on Faith Homestead / Leaving Egypt and all that kind of stuff. It has been a while since we made a video. I have been in the Mayo Clinic with my mom once again. Want to thank you guys, any of you guys that were praying, all that kind of stuff. We actually got some answers this time, which is good, exciting stuff. I'll post some pictures right now from being up at the Mayo Clinic. I just did pictures. I didn't do any video because I don't have that much recording capability on my phone. So the wife and the kids, they took care of the animals, took care of the greenhouse, and we're going to go around and check on all that stuff today and check on the animals, all that kind of stuff. They did a fantastic job from what I can tell. We got to move the chickens. We got some work to do today. We also have exciting things going on in Missouri. We have got the opener of rifle season coming up this Saturday, and I have a lot to do before now and then. I have promised a 5-year-old little girl she can go hunting with me if the weather will comply. It's supposed to be really cold, but I'm hoping she can go like on an evening hunt. Those of you that's ever done any of this kind of stuff, the morning is always the coldest, right? And then in the afternoon, maybe you take a little break, something like that. Where I'm gonna be hunting, I'll be taking a break, do my chores, those kinds of things. And then I will come back and I'll go to the stand a little bit later. The low so far Saturday night, opening day night, is like 25 or something crazy like that. But that should be well into the night. And so what I'm thinking is it's supposed to get up to like 40 something ish that day. So we're gonna bundle her up, make her look like the Michelin Man, right? She'll have to waddle to the tree stand. But I got a lot to do between now and then. I got to sight in a couple of deer rifles. My wife's talking about wanting to harvest a deer this year, so I need to sight in her deer rifle. I need to sight in my deer rifle. I got to get my truck licensed because the tags went out while I was in Minnesota. I've already got it inspected, but I got to do some other stuff to get it licensed this week. And we got some chores to do around the place. I got some work that needs to be done. Also, of course, while I was gone, our hot water heater went on the fritz, right? And I tried to just clean it out really good. What's happening is it is just continuing to heat the water once we shut the water off, and it's tripping the resets. And every time you want to go use hot water, you have to reset the hot water unit itself. And obviously it's not operating as it should, so I have to call the manufacturer today. It's under a 2-year warranty, so hopefully they'll just either send us the part that I can replace, or they will send us a whole new unit and I can replace it. It'd be a very simple plug and play type swap out if it's something like that. So we have got a lot to do, and I really want to do some deer hunting. Even this week, if I can, I'd like to get out and do some bow hunting because the deer are on the move right now, and I hate to let that opportunity go. Remember, I do enjoy deer hunting a lot. It's something that I really enjoy doing. However, it's not just about going and enjoying it. It's also us trying to harvest some meat for our freezer, especially with the price of groceries. And if you are not hunting on your homestead or around your homestead on public land or something, if you're not learning to hunt, to forage, you are missing out on a lot of food opportunities. So if checking on the animals, checking out the greenhouse, all that kind of stuff, if that's something that interests you, watching some kids feed some rabbits, learning about letting kids make the mistakes, that way they can learn to actually help you. If that kind of stuff is exciting to you, I encourage you to stick around. Come with us today. I'm sorry for the wind. I'm going to go ahead and apologize. It is windy. It is really, it's supposed to be like 60 degrees today. It's like 80 in here right now. It's hot. It's supposed to be like 60 degrees outside today, 65, but the wind is blowing like crazy, which has got the kids all bundled up. But come along with us. Let's do some chores. Get to work here. Got the girls helping me this morning feed rabbits. Oh, get it in the feeder, baby. Most of it got in there. It's okay. It is supposed to be like 65 today, but right now it is cold and windy, so they had to have kind of some heavy coats on. They're talking about being real cold this morning. Get it more full than that. No, sissy, don't waste it. So there's definitely some growing pains with teaching children how to do this. But as mentioned in the video, I was gone this week, and this last week I was up at the Mayo Clinic with my mom, and so my wife and kids were taking care of the animals. So getting them to learn how to do this is actually worth the cost of losing a little bit of feed so that they can help. Now the big one shouldn't be dumping feed. Some of your feed hit the ground too. All right, girls, let's move on.
Okay, Dad.
Here are the baby chickens, and I cannot believe how much they grew that week that I was gone. I need to get their other pen done. Well, not technically their pen. I actually need to get the Orpington pen done, move them out of the pen they're in, put these guys where the Orpingtons are now. But these guys are growing. The brand new ones that we had that got given to us by Grandma from farm when she went to Farm Fest, they're finally starting to get feathered out. So I was kind of trying to wait so I can move them all together. They're a little bit behind the Golden Lace Wyandottes and the Barred Rocks, but they are growing good. Looks like the wife and kids did a good job taking care of them while I was gone. All right, so here's our greenhouse. I knew last week or a couple weeks ago whenever I left, or a week ago, whatever it was, I knew there were some sprouts coming up, but there are definitely now some lettuce growing, some weeds growing, some Swiss chard it looks like, cabbage growing down there. We got some carrots growing, we got some radishes growing right here. We got some beets trying to grow over here. It is definitely starting to take off. It is definitely going to be interesting, the fact that I'm going to be weeding in November and December in here. That'll be fun, right? Coming into your greenhouse in the middle of the winter time to do some weeding. But it's trying, man. It's trying to grow, which is exciting stuff to think about, having some fresh lettuce in the winter time, some fresh vegetables, some root vegetables, beets and carrots and those kinds of things. Exciting times. All right, we got the Orpingtons fed. We got the big chickens moved. They needed moved. And I want to show you guys kind of what my thought process is and what I'm trying to accomplish, what we're trying to kind of ease into, and how we're trying to use these chickens to better our situation in a lot of different ways. And let me show you kind of what I'm talking about. So we just moved them. They're on fresh grass over here. We've had a warm spell, so the grass is kind of greened back up, and they are loving it, man. They got fresh feed, new feed for them, and they are much more interested in picking around in the grass, trying to find critters, trying to eat seeds and grass and all that kind of stuff. Here is where they just were, right here. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but this big brown circle is where they just were. You can see where the door of the coop was every day. They didn't eat it, but they really ate this other down. And if you're thinking, man, that's just gonna kill everything, let me show you a spot where they've previously been. They have previously been, Leah lost her head covering. They have previously been right here just about 2 weeks ago. You can see how this greened back up, and in fact, we have got some beautiful, beautiful green up coming up right here. Let me show you another spot where they were. Oh, and now remember, we've had some cold snaps, and in this last week or so is where the grass has really grown. But look at this spot here. This is where they were a couple weeks ago, and it is beautiful, green, luscious looking, tender grass. And so the thought process is that basically they fertilize it, they work the dirt, all that kind of stuff. They give the grass seed a chance to grow. They give the plant a chance to grow after you've moved them off of there, and they really it really goes crazy. And my plan is this winter just to keep moving them around up here in this little field, and they will fertilize this field all winter long, And then next spring, this little field ought to grow very, very good, ought to provide lots of food for them and any other animals we may put out here in the future. In case you're wondering how the egg laying's been going since we switched their housing, we switched the way that they're moving every single day now, or not every day, but once a week they're moving at least, and sometimes twice a week. We switched their feed, they got a new coop, all this kind of stuff, and it really threw them off. And of course the first day or two, right, we got eggs, and then it pretty much shut them down. We was getting like 1 or 2 eggs a day here and there off of, I don't know how many birds we have in this little circle anymore, I forgot. But we weren't getting many. And then we got to where maybe we was getting 1 or 2 a day, and then every once in a while we'd maybe get 3 or 4 a day. As of right now, what we're getting is we may have a day or so, maybe 2, of no eggs, and then the next day we'll have, you know, maybe 8 or 10 eggs. And so they are kind of starting to settle in now to the new feed, to the new living situation. I knew that it was going to mess with them pretty bad. Just for as long as we've had chickens, I've learned anytime you change stuff like that, it really messes with them. And so I had a feeling it was going to mess with them bad. I wanted to do it around this time of year. That way by next spring they'll be lined out and really laying. And so that should be good to go. But using these chickens to fertilize this, to scratch the dirt up, to beat the dirt up, and for that grass to regrow, and all the while they're producing eggs for us. We're working into where they're going to produce meat for us. We're also trying to work into where we're selling some pullets, maybe some eggs, those kinds of things. We are working into that. We're not there yet. That's all very expensive to get into, and so we can't obviously just fly off into it, right, and drop a whole bunch of money. I mean, if we could, that'd be great, but that's not where we are. That's probably not where you're at either. Most people aren't there, and so we just have to kind of keep working our way into that. All of the baby chickens that you have seen, the Orpingtons, the Barred Rocks, the Golden Lace Wyandottes, all of that, that is all for a reason, and I'm going to tell you that that reason is not because we just want a whole bunch of different breeds of chickens. That reason is eventually we want to separate these little coops and circles out by breed. That way, if we ever go to sell them, then we can sell Barred Rocks, and we can say these are Barred Rocks, right? They're not mixed with anything else. These are Orpingtons. These are, because there's a lot of people that really do care about exactly the kind of chicken they're getting. We are focusing on what I think is some perfect homestead breeds, meaning they're high production egg layers and they're also good meat birds. We are really trying to focus on combination birds the best that we can. We like the meat better on these, what they call heritage style birds, than we do off of the Cornish crosses. We like even the breast meat tastes a lot like a chicken thigh, right? It's a darker meat, it's really good. And so we are working into that slowly but surely, just a little bit here and a little bit there, building a few coops here and there kind of as we need to. All of that stuff's expensive. Building supplies are expensive, the electric netting's expensive, the chargers are expensive. However, the electric netting and the charger together isn't any more than having to build a big run to put them in or something like that. Now, if we were just buying, 30 birds that we wanted to free range out here, we wouldn't have to go through all of this, right? We could just maybe every day let them out of their coop, open up the electric fence, let them go out and eat whatever they want to. At night, close the electric fence back in, shut the coop up, and we'd have nothing to worry about. However, that does not help us with the trying to be very specific on where we fertilize with. That does not help us to improve the ground in the immediate area of the chickens. That does not help us for selling birds later. It doesn't help us with keeping the breeds separated so that we can sell specific breeds later. It doesn't help us with any of that if we just free range them. Although I like the idea of just free ranging them, and if we were not headed this direction, that's what I would do, is I would just free range them every day. Maybe even build a semi-permanent coop but I've done that before. I've went that route before. I've went the completely enclosed, moving the chicken tractor route. So far, this netting and coop on wheels route is one that I really, really like. This spring, before I do the garden, late winter, early spring, I'll be able to move these guys around in the garden, let them eat all the grass and all the weeds and all that kind of stuff, and then let them fertilize it as well. This just does so much more for us. We are able to do so much more. It makes it so much more usable, and for about the same money, it's a lot more advantages. And so for us, for our particular situation, this is what I always talk about. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's goals are different. I'm not saying this is the best way to do your chickens, but for us, it's the best way we have found to do ours. And if it's something you're interested in, I hope this inspires you to get to work instead of watching YouTube videos all the time. We appreciate you guys. We will catch you next time. Appreciate you putting up with our long breaks in videos between being put in YouTube jail and going up to Minnesota to the Mayo Clinic. There's been some breaks in the videos. I appreciate you guys sticking with us, hanging out with us. Don't forget to check us out on Rumble, because one of these days YouTube will kick us off. We appreciate you guys. Catch you next time.